Who thinks I should get a quad for the channel and, you know, go F off a little bit? Raise your hand in the comment section. Let me know. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on Pure Panorama. As promised, this video is going to be the 47RE transmission fluid change. We are just letting the truck cool off a little bit. I drove out to my boss's house because it was raining at my house all day, and instead of sitting there waiting to see if the rain cleared up, we came out here to get this done, just be productive and see how the truck runs after we get that fresh fluid in there. So this is going to be fluid change number 1 out of 2 total fluid changes on the 47RE transmission. While I wait for the 24 valve to cool down so that I can drop the 47RE transmission pan, I do have both gaskets. Even though I only need the one, I do have both gaskets laying out on the tailgate in the sun so that they will just kind of flatten out. It'll make the installation of the gasket much easier on you when you go to reinstall your transmission pan. So go ahead and lay them out on a flat, clean surface so they don't get debris on them, and they will lay down flat for you so you can install them easier. What you need for this fluid change is obviously some ATF plus 4 transmission fluid. You do need a 13mm socket to remove your pan bolts. You are going to need a T25 Torx to remove the 2 T25 Torx bolts that hold your transmission filter in place. I have a 3/4 inch drive ratchet. Definitely a torque wrench for retorquing down your pan bolts. You do not want to over torque or tighten those because they are going into an aluminum housing, and the last thing you want to do is crack that housing on the transmission. That will make for a very bad day for you. And then obviously you need your filter kit that comes with your filter and a new gasket for your pan. Alright guys, so I got all the pan bolts out except for 2 of them, and now the reason I leave 2 in is what I do is I bring the camera under here, but I really do not want to get transmission fluid all over the new camera setup, and I don't have another small camera with me that's easy to maneuver under here. So why I leave 2 bolts in the pan is for one reason. I leave 1 bolt on each side, so after I pull all of them out, those 2 bolts will hold the pan, but they'll allow it to drop down a little bit and drain a good bit of fluid out into the catch pan. And then what I do is support it up with one hand, and I pull those last 2 bolts and then try to get my hands on there and lower it down as slowly and carefully as I can without making a huge mess. Easier said than done. No matter what you do, this is going to make a mess. You're going to get stuff all over you. So here we go. Alright, now let me get resituated here. That wasn't too bad. Alright guys, so let's take a look at this fluid here. It looks about normal probably. It's definitely darker in color, but you can still see a good shade of red to it. The magnet I can see a little bit, definitely doing its job. Has a good bit of sludge on it. So like I said, this 47RE transmission fluid change was long overdue. So let's dump this out and see. Yeah, we got a little bit of swirling going on in there with metallic, but I don't see any chunks, so that's a good sign. Seems that everything in the transmission is intact. And if we look at the pan, the magnet looks to be good. Actually, nope, no chunks. So that is a good thing. The magnet is definitely caked with some stuff, but that is a normal appearance. So I think we're good, baby. I always said that the transmission on my truck shifted well. I know that at one point it was rebuilt. I don't know, however, if it was rebuilt with any goodies, billet input, billet output, what kind of torque converter was put in it. I do not have any specs or build sheet on the transmission, unfortunately. But if I had to guess, I would hope that they beefed up and put in a couple of stronger internal pieces. But I can't really complain about the overall appearance of what this fluid looked like as we changed it. So obviously, when we change this fluid the second time, it will be a lot cleaner, and we will end up with a final product of good, clean fluid in there for a little bit, and we won't have to worry about it again for however many more miles when we do the fluid change again, which by that point the truck may not honestly be in my possession any longer. We got the pan for the 47RE transmission all cleaned up. It's all cleaned out, ready to go. The magnet is looking super fresh right now. This thing is basically ready to reinstall, get the gasket on it, and we can put it back up in there. But before we do that, we have a couple of things left to do while the pan is off the truck. So we got our clean pan here. We're gonna go ahead and get our gasket in place. Now, my little trick for doing the gasket is good old Vaseline, baby. Go ahead and bust her out of your nightstand, and we're gonna use her for something different tonight, boys. But we're gonna put a little light coat around the pan edge here, just something small and light so that you can set the gasket on there, and it'll help hold your gasket in place when you go to reinstall your pan. The other thing I do is I stick 2 of the pan bolts up through the opposite holes, one on each side, just like when you take it off, you leave 2 in, 1 on each side to help hold it so it doesn't dump on your head. We're gonna go ahead and do that, and it'll help with the Vaseline to keep your gasket right where it needs to be when you reinstall your pan. So let's go ahead and spread some of this on there. You guys all know how to spread some Vaseline, right? Literally just a light little coat, just so you got something to press this onto, and it'll just kind of hold her down. And no, this Vaseline will not hurt your fluid or anything like that. Try not to put it all down inside the pan, just a very light skim coat around your pan edge. And that's all there is to it. Just a little light coat, like I said, that's all you need. Now we can go ahead and match this up here. I'm not a huge fan of these rubber gaskets, but since it's what comes in these cheaper filter kits from the part stores, it is what I have to put back on for right now. But these are not typically the best gasket to run. We will put a different gasket on the pan when we do the second fluid change. But do you see right there, that little light coat of Vaseline holds that filter gasket, or that pan gasket, down just nice and flush on there. She's not going anywhere. 2 bolts up on each side here. Don't force them up through there either. Just spin them through as if you were tightening them up into the bottom of the transmission. You don't want to rip through the gasket and tear it. The gasket does have tighter holes on it, so you want to just kind of spin them up there like you're tightening them, and you'll be in good shape. That gasket will literally hold those bolts right in place. Then with the Vaseline, she's not going anywhere. You can take your pan, put her right back up in there, get those 2 bolts started. That'll hold the pan in place, and then you can go ahead and put the rest of them in there. So I do have the new filter in place. 2 T25 Torx bits. Go ahead and raise your pan right up there until you can feel where the bolt gets lined up. Get it started with your fingers, just so it holds her. Reach around here to the other side where your other bolt is. Get that one started. Then you can go work your way around and put the rest of them in and get them all torqued down to 13 foot-pounds. Don't go any tighter. This, I recommend you have a torque wrench for this, because you are tightening these into aluminum, and you're in for a bad day if you over torque them and crack the aluminum housing that these get tightened into. So there we go. Our pan is held in place. Time to install the rest of our bolts. Let's get rid of this gosh dang catch pan. that is basically it for the 47RE transmission fluid change. I do have it all filled back up right now, just checked it. I put 6 quarts back into the transmission after draining all that out. It probably still has room to take a little bit more, but it's getting dark, it's getting late. I have an hour ride to get home about, so I need to just hit the road, get home. We'll check it tomorrow. We'll take it out for a little spin, get the transmission warmed up, get it on a flat surface, put it in neutral, and recheck the fluid level so that we can make sure that the level is where it needs to be. But for right now, we should be in good shape. I crawled down underneath there. I was shining a flashlight there, checking for leaks. Doesn't appear to have any leaks or anything right now, but we won't really know until we drive it and get that fluid nice and warm and get it heated up. I'll check it again when I get home to see if there's any leaks coming out from around the pan bolts or anything, and just be sure to see if I have to tighten anything down or drop the pan back down and retorque it again or something. So I'll check that when I get home, like I said, to double check it, but otherwise I think we are in good shape. That is gonna do it for this video though. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button on your way out. If you're stopping in for the first time, you're new here, checking out the channel, hit that subscribe button, join the family, and I will see you tomorrow with a new video when I update you on how the truck drives after doing the 47RE transmission fluid change, and we check the level again and make sure that there's no leaks. Peace.